But we're very glad to have you with us this morning.
Good morning. I'm thrilled to be here.
Isn't it true, though? I mean, you remember the songs of our youth, going, when you go to church with grandparents or moms and dads, and you love those amazing hymns, but you really never had an idea of where they came from.
Yeah, or the second stanza.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Well, but there's a lot of great inspiration to these songs, and you would never know them unless you got a book like this.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. A lot of us really like to read devotionals, and this is a great alternative if you do have a devotional, but you want to change it up a little bit and add something about learning about all those hymns that you've been singing forever. This book is going to give you the words, the music, and then also the history, all the drama that's with it. Why did they write it? Who wrote it? Where were they when they wrote it? And we're going to give you the CD, which is a musical instrumental. And you can actually hear that playing in the background. And if you're sitting and praying and you want to play that in the background as you pray, or you're doing the dishes, you're just doing your chores, but you want something that's going to uplift you.
Sure.
On the CD, you're going to find things like It Is Well With My Soul, Oh Worship the King, Blessed Assurance, Great Is Thy Faithfulness, and who doesn't know Amazing Grace?
Yeah, well, you could go out and buy a CD for $14.95, right? But it's the book that I found fascinating because I mean there are some of the most famous hymns, and there are 150 of them in the book, but they have the stories behind them. Even people that are inspired by them that wrote a little bit about their about what they felt when they heard the song.
Well, and you have world famous people like John Wesley, Charles Wesley, who wrote 6,000 hymns. And you know what the author says? This book is a cure for shot nerves. If you're going through a really tough time and you need to hang on to God during this time, this would be the book to do that. He said it's better than having therapy, and it's like sitting at a lake for an hour just relaxing. So where does this book start?
So it looks like you've kind of marked off some of your favorites.
I do. And I always do that. In all my books and my Bibles are always marked off, and I've done that. It starts in the 14th century BC, so before Christ. It starts with the book of Numbers, which is an Aaronic benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you. And then it gives the whole history of who wrote it, why they wrote it, what was going on in their life when that happened. And if you notice, it has this jagged edge, which adds to the presentation.
It gives it almost like an old-fashioned feel, you know?
Well, you can see on the cover, look at the classic feel. This is a beautiful book with presentation. And let's say I was reading and the phone rang. Well, this book has French flap. What does that mean? It actually has a built-in bookmark. So you're not grabbing your gum wrapper to stick in there to have as a bookmark. You actually stick that in there, and it's going to hold your place for you. That's what French flap is. Now, this book will take you from the 14th century BC right up to 2002, and then Robert Morgan, the writer of this book, wrote a hymn. But let's take a look at another one where you hark the herald angels sing. Here you have the words, the music, so if you are a musician, you can sit down at the piano and play this. You're getting to read it, sing it, and hear it all in one book. And you're getting the musical CD. Now think about that. We pay $15 just for a CD, and you are getting the book and the CD.
See, and for my money too, I've always liked learning the stories behind something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I watch even on TV shows today. You always watch, like, you'll find things, maybe a biblical reference, or better yet, even for anything else in our daily lives. They give you these shows on how they make it or how they create it. And a lot of these great hymns are great because of the inspiration behind them. And certainly even the people that were inspired by them that write in this amazing book. If you order today, you're going to get the collection of 150 hymns. Remember, that's the hymn. It gives you the music and everything, so you can learn to play it if you'd like, but also learn the story behind them. And you get the CD for only $14.95. And I think as we get closer to Easter, this would be the perfect gift that you can give your mom, your dad, even to have in your own library or your own collection.
Absolutely.
And please remember that we are down to about 400 of these, and that's all that we have for this Easter season. So if you'd like to get it, last time that Vonabell was here, they sold out completely.
We did.
So we want to make sure that those of you that missed out on them can order this morning. Just ask for item number 302678. You can use any major shopping card. We accept checks as well, and you'll be able to get yours. Now, if you use a major shopping card, we can still get this out in time for Easter.
That's wonderful, and this is great gift giving. If you don't want to give candy, maybe to an adult, this is great encouragement. And you know, hymns have a meaning to every single generation. My grandmother read them and sang them. My mom did, and I do. So every generation this book will speak to. And if you're looking for that devotional to lift you up and encourage you, this will be the book that will do that. And you get that history with every single book you buy. How about I Surrender All? I love that, and I've heard so many people do renditions of that song. I love it. You're going to get the music, the words, and the whole history about it. You think of the who, what, where, and how. We're going to tell you that in this book. The Old Rugged Cross, Now that is such a classic. I've had friends who have chosen that, you know, whether it be for uplifting situations or funerals, because the words have such meaning. You're getting all the history and depth there. This is great gift giving, or maybe you have a friend who's struggling. Now, if you like to pick a hymn that just has meaning to you, in the front we have a table of contents. You can pick it in order, but also maybe you're thinking of one, oh, Amazing Grace, where can I find that? Well, guess what? It's in alphabetical order by title here as well. So you're getting all that, and this is from Thomas Nelson, and their theory is, or thought is, that they live to inspire you to read the Word of God and be uplifted. So Thomas Nelson has brought you a great deal, and you know, we can thank Beverly at Thomas Nelson for this, because you can't get this at any price in any Christian bookstore. This is a fabulous deal because you're getting the instrumental CD and the book for that price.
Hey, you look back to my childhood. I mean, going to church, and you hear these amazing hymns, and they were incredibly powerful. I mean, a lot of the new music, a lot of the new Christian music is pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, I like the contemporary Christian.
But, you know, you can't help but not want to go back to some of the traditional music. And certainly some of these hymns, and they are 150. It's a great collection of the greatest hymns that have ever been written. To find out why they were written or what was going on at the time that they were being written, the inspiration behind them, I think that's even more inspirational than just hearing the music. Now, if you order today, now you'll get the collection exclusive here at HSN. You're going to get the book. You're also going to get the CD for less than $15. I mean, think about this as a gift that you're going to give your grandparents or mom or dad, or even in your own family library, that you're going to continue to go back to and look at, not just because it's Easter or just because it's Christmas, but pretty much every day of your life. If you know maybe a pastor, maybe a music minister that that's in your church, and you want to make sure that maybe they have some of the latest information, they would absolutely love a gift like this at one of the most religious times of the year. But don't wait, because right now, with now getting close to fewer than 300, if you want to get this, you do need to order today and call our toll-free number. With a major shopping card like a Visa or MasterCard, you can still get this sent in time for Easter. I mean, imagine what a wonderful gift that you can give your pastor or maybe someone else that you share faith with. You
know what? That is great. Whether you're giving it to a girlfriend or you want to give it to your pastor to say, you know, thank you because you keep me encouraged. I'd like to give you something to keep you encouraged. Or maybe you have a girlfriend who's going through a really hard time, or even they're bedridden, they're sick. You want to give them something that would encourage them while they're sick. This would be the gift to give them. It has a beautiful presentation. It's great gift giving. Look at the antique feel. You have the French flap. We've given you these jagged edges for that antique classic feel. The hymns, I think, have to us, it pulls a heartstring for us. Even if you're listening to contemporary, I think anytime you've spent in church or heard, I mean, all of us in movies, we hear Amazing Grace. That brings me to tears every single time. That's in there. Find out who wrote it and why they wrote it, what happened to them. He was actually on a ship struggling with his relationship with God when he wrote Amazing Grace. Find out all the details, all the history, all the drama of when and why these hymns were written. And like John said, you cannot go and steal that from the church because you're in big trouble.
No, because, you know, the moment you take that hymnal outside, there could be lightning. It could be something bad.
And it'll hit him really bad.
Yeah, it'd be all my fault. But, you know, it is the music that, you know, that we grew up with.
Do you hear the music in the background?
And I love that. That's all part of the CD.
It's comforting. Maybe we could even turn that up a little bit, because I have played it while I was doing the dishes, and I just felt uplifted. If you're in a sad place and you need that comfort, what's going to touch your heart. You know, they say music can change your attitude. You're having a bad day, you turn on music, you feel better. Why not listen to the hymns from the Word of God that will encourage you and bring your spirits up? And it's a great way to encourage a friend, especially at Easter. It's time to get back to church. You're going to be singing some of those hymns. How about getting this book before Easter and refreshing yourself on all of those hymns that you know? Jagged edges, and these are ivory pages as well.
Vonabell, I just love the fact that, I mean, here, the stories behind everything, because that's why I watch those shows that always tell you how things are made and, you know, what happened and what was the inspiration behind certain different projects that you see in the world. And you look at some of these hymns and they go back so many thousands of years, some of them. And to find out the history and the inspiration behind it.
We start in 14th century BC, before Christ. So that's when the book of Numbers was written. So we take you from 14th century BC, and you see I highlighted? I love to highlight my books. All my books are highlighted.
I hate to interrupt, but we're going to have to say sold out.
No.
Yeah,
oh, well, but I'm glad.
To those of you out there that were able to get in today. It's an amazing collection. 302-678, only $14.95. Hey, by the way, we also have